Becoming signatory is the first step in the process of joining the National Maintenance Agreement's Policy Committee program. Following this brief description of what it means to become signatory to the NMAPC program, a detailed tutorial will be presented to assist you in completing this first step. It is important to note that by becoming signatory to the National Maintenance Agreements, it does not provide authority to a contractor to unilaterally utilize the agreement whenever or wherever it desires. The contractor will need to request and receive permission to utilize the agreement on a location-by-location basis via the Site Extension Request process. Now, don't worry about this next step, as it will be discussed in detail in the next section of the NMA IQ. Requesting to become signatory is performed only online at the NMAPC website. There, contractors can request to become signatory to one or more of the 14 National Maintenance Agreements or the 3 National Power Generation Maintenance Agreements. As previously identified, each of the 14 international unions has their own national maintenance agreement, and therefore a contractor seeking to perform work under the NMAPC program will need to become signatory to each of the international unions with which they intend to directly employ. When a contractor requests to become signatory to the national maintenance agreements, they will also need to complete a site extension request for the specific site where they intend to perform work. Again, don't worry about this next step now, as it will be discussed in detail in the next section of the NMA IQ. Following completion of the site extension request in conjunction with the request to become signatory, the contractor will have an opportunity to review all of the information that they have entered before submitting it to the international unions that they have requested to become signatory. Once submitted, it typically takes anywhere from 5 to 10 business days for a contractor's request to become signatory to be finalized. It is important to note that once a contractor's request to become signatory has been submitted, it will need to be finalized within 30 days or it will time out and automatically be rejected. For more information on this process, please contact the NMAPC Administrative Office. Since the NMAs are evergreen, contractors only need to become signatory once with any of the participating international unions, provided that they remain in good standing with the NMAPC. This includes remitting the $825 per craft per year administrative fee, adhering to and enforcing the terms and conditions of the NMAs where they are in effect. Now let's take a moment to walk through a step-by-step tutorial of how to request to become signatory to one or more of the 14 NMAs. 1. Log on to the NMAPC website with your username and password, or if you are a new user, select the Create Profile link to create a new username and password. Number 2. Select the Become Signatory link in the middle of the page under the Signatory Status headline or the Become Signatory button in the navigation. 3. On the first page, review the top 10 frequently asked questions at the bottom of the page. 4. Select the Continue to Online form link at the top of the page. 5. Select the check boxes next to the names of the craft unions your company needs to directly hire. Important note: subcontractors are responsible for completing this process for themselves. If you are subcontracting any of the work in question for this project, you will need to ensure that all of your subcontractors also complete these steps. Important note: National Power Generation Maintenance Agreements should only be selected if the work your organization is going to perform is related to a power generation facility. 6. Click the Continue button at the bottom and complete the Site Extension Request Form, SER. At this point, you have requested to become signatory to the NMAs and will now need to file a Site Extension Request, SER. 7. After you complete the SER form, the international unions will need to send your company the signature pages for each of the NMAs that you have requested to become signatory. At this point, the international unions will either mail or email you a copy of these documents directly to the contact information that you provided when you created your company profile. It is important that upon receipt of these documents that you sign and return them as indicated in order to ensure that your request to become signatory is completed in a timely manner. Typically, a request to become signatory is completed within 5 to 10 business days. If you need to expedite your request to become signatory, please contact the NMAPC administrative offices for more information. 8. Only when the international unions have received your returned, signed signature pages will they take action on your request to become signatory and your SER. 9. After the Become Signatory process is complete, the NMAPC will send your company an invoice for the NMAPC administrative fees. This invoice is due within 30 days. You can pay the invoice on the NMAPC website or send a check to the NMAPC administrative offices. The NMAPC administrative fee is $825 per craft, which renews annually until you request to terminate your NMAs.